Hey, what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Welcome back to another live stream. If you guys would please do me a favor, hit the like button and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know where you're from. People are still talking about Comet Atlas. I've got a new photo to share with you guys today. This is a Harvard professor that's been talking about the comet since July of 2025 when it was first discovered. I'm going to show you guys some exclusive photos from July of 2025. I'm going to show you some analysis that I did back then and what people are still talking about today. People are still under the impression that this is some sort of a possible mothership. I was in a debate last night. In fact, I was up very, very late last night talking with associates about this thing. And again, there's still controversy about what this thing is and where it came from. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Drew from Columbus, JP from Arkansas, Agent Fletcher in the house. Guys, hit that like button and let me know where you're from, because if the algorithm detects a lot of activity over here, our video is going to get pushed out a lot farther. That's all. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I'm just trying to keep this video worth all of our while. Thank you so much, and I thank you in advance. John from Scotland, where we've got Olivia from Alabama. I'm going to try to catch a few of y'all in here. Rick, the Tulsa King. He's a Sylvester Stallone fan. Alexandria, Ontario, Canada. Laura Wallace. Keep them coming, guys. Philadelphia, in the house. Kathleen. Who else we got in here? Alabama, Scotland, Connecticut, West Virginia, Lee. All right. Denver in the house. San Diego in the house. You know one thing, you want to hear an interesting fact? I mean, this is a fact, at least some from my observation. Wisconsin, Texas, Liverpool. Good job, guys. Keep them coming. Light it up. I never see any comments in there from Los Angeles or New York. And very rarely Chicago. Very rarely Chicago. Anybody in the chat from any of those locations? You know, I find that odd. I don't know why that is either. And it could be just a simple coincidence. Hawaii in the house. Sweden, North Dakota. Jay, who we got from Ohio there? I've been to Ohio once. Judy from Ohio. Ohio's always in the house. Good to see you guys from Ohio. Jersey, Virginia, New Orleans, Kentucky. Good job, guys. Keep them coming. Fill that chat. Load it up. Let me know where you're from. Melbourne, Australia. Love it. Anyone else? There's Northern California. Cool. Good to see some California in the house. Honestly, I never see a comment from Los Angeles, and I shouldn't say never. Very rarely that I ever see one from New York. There's Los Angeles right there. Dank Williams, right on. There you go. Thank you, man. You guys are just quiet, huh? Right on, right on. I got you. That's all good. It's all good. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Keep them coming. Just simply put in there where you're from, because it helps the algorithm think that we're over here going viral. Even though we may not be going viral, we should, in my eyes. We want every video to go viral, right? Let's go. Light it up, light it up, light it up. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate that. Listen, I've got a new photo of Comet Atlas to share with you guys. Another second photo from the Mars rover. We analyzed one yesterday. We're going to analyze this one today. And I'm going to show you guys some analysis that I did back in July when this thing first came around. In fact, I'm going to walk you through several different views of Comet Atlas over the months and why people think that this thing is indeed an alien spaceship. Number one, it's from a different star system. And just that alone is rare. What we're experiencing right now with Comet Atlas is a once-in-a-lifetime event. And that's why this gentleman here is so excited. This is the Harvard professor that just in the last 7 years, we've seen, actually 8, 2017, 2020, and 2025, we've seen 3 objects come through the inner solar system from different stars, which is highly, highly unusual, but it's happened 3 times in the last, like I said, 8 years. So this is an exciting time to be alive. It really is. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know I did go outside this morning at 5:26 and I looked in the eastern sky next to, or just to the right of, the Big Dipper, and I did not, or at least I was not able to see this comet right here. It is in the sky, however. This is A2025 A6 Lemon. Michael Yeager out of Austria took this incredible photo, but these guys are using incredible instruments too. So if you've got a 14-inch telescope that's equipped with a digital camera, then you can pull in stuff like this if you know how to stack the images and keep the object from streaking through the photo. That's an absolutely beautiful photo. And that object was in the sky this morning. I did get a photo from a gentleman, I believe, out of California. Let me look right here. Actually, Oakley, Idaho. This is a photo that a person took, Alma Mason, and the comet was right over here. I know it's hard to see, but this is just I believe it's a smartphone or some sort of a camera they just took and pointed to the sky. The Big Dipper's over here to the left. This photo was taken at 5:21 this morning. I was out there at 5:26, and that's exactly where I was looking, but we didn't have crystal clear skies this morning. I mean, they were good, but they weren't great. The comet's right there, and this is just with the naked eye. That's the comet. That's what it looks like right now with the naked eye. If you have a small telescope, this is where it's at. It's right over here, just to the right of the Big Dipper. So if you know where to look in the northeastern sky, look for the Big Dipper. Go to the right, about a hand's length like that. Put your hand sideways, and right directly across from the upper two stars of the Big Dipper should be Comet Lemon. Again, you might have to pull out a small telescope, or you might even have to use a pair of binoculars. Either way, it's there. And if you have a 14-inch telescope, man, you're having a blast. I want to show you guys something that was shared with me today real quick before we dive into the mystery around Comet Atlas. If in fact it's a comet, I want to show you guys in this video, all along I've said this thing doesn't look like a comet. And you know what? I'm just going along with the comet narrative because that's what everybody's calling it. I don't think, and I'm not 100% convinced, that this thing is a comet, just simply because it's not acting like one. Like looking at the moon right here, this photo was sent in by Wes, just real quick since we're on the space topic. Look at this thing. What is that on the surface of the moon? You guys tell me. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. You can find the photo over here at the homepage of the website. The original's over here on the left. I zoomed in on the right. MrMBB333.com. There's the photo. Here I put them side by side. This is what was sent in to me by Wes. I'm assuming the photo was taken less than 24 hours ago, maybe, somewhere around in there. It was recently. I don't know what's going on there, but that is one weird photo of the sun. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like the video. We've only got 199 likes. We got to crank out the likes if we're going to get anywhere. Hit that like button. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. We're trying to get the video pushed out there. Okay, here we go. I've got a new photo to share with you guys. Now, I want you guys to just try to keep this into perspective. This comet, whatever it is, initially, this is going back to July, okay? When initial reports were reporting this thing at 12 miles wide, third time in recorded history that this has ever happened, moving at approximately 147,000 miles an hour. Okay, I mean, that's really, really fast. This gentleman here, the Harvard scientist, was comparing this thing to Oumuamua. And you guys remember that from a few years back, the object that went through the inner solar system that looked like a rocky cylinder. I mean, I got to be honest, it was very, very weird, no doubt about it. But this object here, whatever it is, did not behave like a comet for quite some time. In fact, it took several weeks for it to even develop a coma. Here's one of the first analysis I did of this object back in July of 2025 from the Gemini telescope over on the Big Island of Hawaii. And here it is in different formats. That's not a coma. That is just light saturation from the big telescope that zoomed in on this thing. So I just modified the color. I was trying to pull forward the tail. That is not a green coma. This is what it actually looked like right there. That was the original unedited photo. So I just did some light work to it, trying to pull forward any possible features. And trust you me, in one of these videos that I'm going to share with you guys, this thing does reveal some mystery features. And I can see why people are kind of like, no, it's a spaceship. You know, nobody knows if it's a spaceship or not. All we do know is it's from another star system. That alone is super mysterious, okay? And another thing that's very mysterious, its path travel is horizontal, at least with regard to the ecliptic plane. Check this out. This thing is moving through the inner solar system like an airplane would fly, compared to this comet here. This is Comet Swan. Look at it. It's diving down into the solar system. That's how most comets are. They're on a steep incline, or you know, they're not coming in on the ecliptic. And it zipped by Mars just the other day. And as it went by Mars, okay, the rovers on Mars, there were 2 different rovers, from what I understand, that took 2 different photos of the comet as it was flying by. Keep in mind, guys, this thing is moving extremely fast. Extremely fast. Thank you guys for all the comments. Washington State, big shout out to everybody. Hey, what's up, Graham? Is that not an asteroid that flew past? Polenta, what's up, Polenta? Polenta got notified today because I notified her. What's up, Polenta? Tucson, Arizona in the house. Sacramento in the house. There's my moderator. We got to get people to like these videos. We're up to 330. If you like it, guys, it pushes it out there farther, and it helps the whole situation. Here's another comment. Look at this. Look at the incline of that comet right there. Are you serious right now? Now, that's what we're used to seeing, comets coming in like that, not coming in on the horizontal plane. So that alone is mysterious too, just like there it is right there. That's Mr. Atlas, okay? What is this thing? Here's the new photo that was just recently sent out, from what I understand. This is a new one. Mars rover, Mars Perseverance. And again, people, this is why people are looking at this thing like, okay, it's got to be a cylinder, right? Well, the original photo, this is why I shared with you guys the original photo, one of the originals right here that I analyzed back in July. This was taken by the Gemini telescope on the big island of Hawaii. At the time it took this was out by the orbit of Jupiter. It did not look like a comet. I totally agree. Here's the second analysis that I did. I want to show you guys what this thing looked like. These images were taken by Michael Jaeger out of Austria. This is called stacking. Whenever you can get a video like this of a comet moving through a deep star field like this, and there's all kinds of stars in the background, this takes some skill. Okay, he had to stack a whole bunch of photos together of this satellite in order to keep the blur effect off these images, and he basically created a GIF is what he did. But there's Comet Atlas back in July. This was the first view, and you can see it has no coma, it has no tail, and when I zoomed in on this thing, it had a very unusual shape. Probably still does. It's just that now what we're dealing with is more light, because it did develop some sort of a thin coma because it's closer to the sun. Out here, it was, again, closer to the orbit of Jupiter, so it really wasn't that bright yet. He's good. He was able to pull this thing in, and notice how it's kind of wobbly, and it appears to have an unusual shape. The best that we can tell from this perspective. Keep in mind, I mean, we're millions of miles away from this thing, so we're trying to analyze light amongst all the interference and things like that. But this is an excellent example of the proper way to photograph and image a comet. This is the proper way to do it. You don't see any type of streaks on here, right? That is an excellent example of how to photograph a comet. And right here is an example of not so, that guy's really good, because everything in the image was crystal clear. Here you're seeing objects in the background that look like what? Cylinders. These are images of Comet Atlas right here on the left. That's Atlas circled in the green. This is Comet Atlas over here on the right. The background stars look like cylinders, right? They sure do. These, however, Michael kept everything in focus. Those are background stars. There's Atlas right there. It's just that they don't look like cylinders, because the equipment that he's using and the technique that he's using is not going to allow things to blur in the images. So what we've been seeing, and even this latest photo that came out, and I put them side by side, is these Perseverance and the rover. This is from the Mars Perseverance. You can see it does look like a cylinder. It's because this instrument, the camera on board this instrument, is engineered to take images of the surface of Mars, primarily things that aren't moving. Okay, so just the very fact that it was able to get an image of this thing as it was moving through the sky, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good, and we were hoping that it would deliver something, and it did. However, This is created because the reason it looks like that is because this thing is moving so fast. Let me put it to you this way. If you were driving down the road on a freeway during the nighttime and the street lights are on, okay? And you roll down your window and you're traveling at 65 miles an hour and you take a picture of the street lights with your camera, your smartphone. Well, more than likely, the street lights are going to show up blurry in your smartphone. And especially the faster that you go, the more blurry they're going to be. So more than likely, that's what we're dealing with in those images there. But that does not, by any stretch of the imagination, rule out that this thing does not have a mysterious component to it, because it certainly does. This thing doesn't have a tail, okay? I mean, this thing's pretty close to the sun right now. It should have a dramatic tail. In fact, it should have a tail similar to that, but it doesn't even have one. So that right there, guys, should be what everybody's talking about. Why doesn't this thing have a tail? And it's not because it's a cylinder, because it's not, okay? It's not a cylinder. I'm gonna take you guys in close right now, and this thing is no way even close to a cylinder. Look at how this thing is wobbly. I'm gonna remove the light from this thing, and the reason I'm showing you guys these is because I wanna show you that it is not a cylinder. Even out farther away, we were able to get some pretty decent detail on this thing because I was able to remove the light. And this man's professional technique showed us all the things in the background, in the foreground, the comets, whatever you want to call its movement, and you can see it's tumbling. And it is pretty good size, okay? They're saying, here's another update, you guys may have heard this, that this thing weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 33 billion tons. I mean, that's huge. That's very dense. So maybe this thing's composition is something that we've never seen before? Don't know. It's from a different star. We're going to go in close. Check this out. Does this thing look like a cylinder? No. It's not even close. Here it is, completely stripped down of all the light, and there it is. Yeah, it looks weird. It looks a little pixelated, but you can see there's something there tumbling. And right here, it almost looks like it's got a hole in it, but it doesn't. That's just an image artifact. But this thing is not a cylinder right there. But you got to ask yourself, what is that thing? Now, keep in mind, I've denoised this and I've sharpened it quite a bit. So I couldn't help. When you do things like that and you use those techniques, it's a give and take situation. So you got to give up a little bit to take it. It's just the whole thing. So I dug deep in the bag of tricks to pull that forward. I really did. And it's not a cylinder, guys. There's no way. This is a professional grade view of Comet Atlas. Even though it's a little farther away, it's not a cylinder, okay? That's just a blur effect from a camera that's engineered to take images of the ground, the surface of a planet, not the sky. So that's what we're dealing with. And here it is in black and white. And in one of these images, I think it's the next analysis I did, it gets a little closer and it almost looks like it has some sort of a feature. Oh, that was that one right there. It almost looks like it has some sort of a feature sticking off the back of it. Maybe it's this one here. Let's see. Yeah, it is this one. Okay. This update right here was when it first developed the Comet. Okay, and we're like, okay, all right, this is a comet, right? I'm still not convinced it's a comet because the Comet is so thin. Again, compared to this one, and I know we're mixing apples and oranges a little bit because comets are in the same family, I guess, so to speak, but there's no two comets that are exactly alike, okay? They just can't be. But the common denominator is the glowing coma of these things because they're reacting to the sun. The sun's a big deal, okay? And anytime something enters the neighborhood of the sun's going to reach out and touch them and let them know, hey, I'm the boss around here. What you doing in my neighborhood? And it's going to cause these things to go sublime. And in some cases, they completely disintegrate. This thing is not, okay? It's not reacting to the sun like Comet Lemon, okay? Or even Comet Swan. Comet Swan's reacting to the sun. Comets Lemon and Swan are coming towards the Earth. But here it is when the coma was first visible. And here's the comet. Once again, you don't see any, cylinder effects in here. Maybe just a little bit. You can see a little bit of light drag right there. I call it light drag, but not much. That's the cylinder effect. Probably didn't stack them enough. I'm not quite sure, but you can see here when I zoom in super, super close right there. There you go. See the cylinder effect? Those are background stars, and right there's the cylinder effect. They're not cylinders, okay? They're just stars. They're background stars. But look at, this is Atlas right here. Notice the feature on the back side of this thing. What in the world is going on there? You know what I mean? It's just really, really strange. Thank you guys for the likes, and thank you for the, where you guys at? I love it. Yes, sir. Go Sublime. What's up, Andrea? It hasn't really yet. That's the thing. And that's what's got everybody in such a tizzy about this thing, is the very fact that it has not gone sublime. But I just wanted to clarify something about the pictures that are going around that are showing this thing looking like a cylinder. Because, guys, I want you to be informed, okay? I don't want you to be misinformed. Nah, that's not cool, okay? We got to be on top of our game, man. This shit's serious. We're dealing with something that's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and we're going to get it right. We got to get it right, man. We can't be up here and say, oh, it's a cylinder. It's not a cylinder, for God's sakes. That's just simply, even this quality here, this is about the best quality. This guy's good. In this particular instance, there's a little bit of cylinder effect in this, it's a GIF is what it is. These images are stacked. There's a series of, I don't know, probably 30 images per second. The guy's really good. Fisherman's Corner. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. This is fun. I'm just trying to help, guys. That's all. I'm an image analyst. This is what I do. I've done work for Ancient Aliens in the past. I've done work for them 3 times. In fact, I think there's a new episode out this month. Check it out. It's on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens. You'll see me sitting there with a real live rocket scientist. Yeah, his name's Travis. Yeah, check it out. But anyway, we're analyzing footage, video footage. That's what I do, man. So I wouldn't lie to you guys, okay? I want you to be informed, not misinformed. Shit, I see this stuff and it's just like, damn, man. But there is a mystery component around this thing. I get it, and I'm on board with that. I'm totally on board with that. I'm not convinced this thing is a comet. But one thing I am 100% sure of, and right here's more evidence, this thing has a real unusual shape. I'm on board with that, but it is not a cylinder, okay? Not even close, guys. So I just don't want you to be misinformed. I want you to be informed, okay? That's all. That's all. And here's the latest cylinder effect, okay? This is the Mars flyby, and we were anticipating that because, as we all know, it just went past Mars within a few, I don't know, a couple million miles, 10 million miles. Where are we at? Yeah, right there. In fact, it's past Mars now, moving at a staggering 140,000 miles an hour, give or take a few, but right there's Mars. And it went past Mars, and Mars took a picture of it. Again, the rover that the camera is engineered to take photos of the ground, of stationary object. But here it is. And you can see in this image, if you look real close, you can see evidence that, yes, it is indeed moving very, very fast. But it managed to capture an image of it because it had a front row seat. Man, why not? I'm glad they did it. That's smart. Good for you, you know. But let's not get people confused and thinking this thing is some sort of a cylinder. It's wild. Oh, I'm on board with that. It's from another star. Here's evidence that it was moving right there. See those jagged edges right there? This thing was really moving fast. It's still moving fast, but it's not behaving like a comet. Guys, I couldn't agree with you more. That's the controversy. Not whether this thing's a cylinder. It's whether or not it's really a comet. And we do have multiple comets diving through the solar system right now. And as Graham over here had mentioned earlier, maybe something stirred up the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud. The Oort cloud's a big donut that encompasses the solar system that's full of chunks of ice. So has something disturbed the Oort cloud that's sending these comets, some of these comets anyway, not all of them, because the one that we're talking about today is an interstellar comet. It's from another star. That's Comet Atlas. But there's just so much activity right now, way more than normal. So I don't know, guys, what the answer is, but try again tomorrow morning. If you can see Comet Lemon over there, it's in the eastern sky. This is just a candid photo of the early morning sky. If you could zoom in on that, I guarantee you it would be 10 times better. I can't zoom in because that's it is what it is, okay? But it's over there, guys. It's over there. So go out in the morning. Don't give up. It's still there. This is for today. It's going to be in the same location. The Big Dipper's over here to the left. That's in the northeast sky. Northeast. Track over to the right of the Big Dipper. If you have a good dark sky, and that's the thing out here, we're dealing with a little bit of a light pollution component, so I honestly don't have the best night skies here. I mean, I wish I had better. I would pull that baby in for you guys. I'm telling you I would. I'm up early anyway, so I went out there. I just didn't have the optimal skies. I really didn't, but we've got a lot of activity going on in the inner solar system, and we have multiple comets convening at the same time in the solar system. Several that are coming towards Earth, 2 if not 3. Atlas is not one of them though, and I just wanted to point out, guys, I'm not trying to take the fun out of it because it is kind of fun when we have an object like this moving through the inner solar system, especially a mysterious comet. I get it, it is mysterious, but it's not cylinder shaped, okay? Just know that. It's an unusual shape. I think it's around 3 to 5 miles wide. You know, you could drive your car on it pretty easy if you wanted to. Probably build a small city on there if you wanted to. But yeah, it's not a cylinder shape. That's all, but it's still worth talking about because it's super interesting. And the very fact that we have multiple comets diving through the solar system right now at one time is also very mysterious. It's unique to have 2, but to have 6 or 7 that we know of, possibly more coming through, is very, very mysterious. And there was a comet from back in January of this year. That was one that started the year off in January. And then we've got this one. This is Atlas. That's back when it was in between the orbit of Jupiter and Mars. So that goes back to July. Here's another comet. This comet went through around a year ago. And as you can see, the sun greeted it right there with multiple CMEs. That was the 3rd CME the sun threw at that comet. But look at the dramatic tail. We don't have a tail with Atlas. That's truly the big mystery, guys. The absence of a tail. Why is this thing not reacting to the sun? Don't know. That's the question of the day, Graham. How can they tell how heavy it is? They were basing it off of its approximate density. I asked that question too. Based off of its approximate size and density. They were like, okay. But here's the thing, Graham. I agree with you. I'm not so sure that number is correct because it's not behaving like a typical comet would, okay? So you don't know what its composition truly is. So how can we say it weighs 33 billion tons, you know? I mean, if it was solid copper, it's going to be a lot heavier than if it was just, you know, ice and rock and stuff like that. So we don't know what this thing's truly made of unless there's something going on that we don't know about. Maybe they sent a rover to the comet or whatever it is to land on it. I don't know. I know if I were in charge, we would have already done it. Here's another example of a comet right there going through the inner solar system, creating a tail over 10 million miles long. You've got to be kidding me. Here's another look at Atlas right here. See, it's not a cylinder. In fact, right there, it looked like it had at least for a moment, it looked like it had an intelligently designed shape to it. But guys, it's not, okay? I just wanted to give you a heads up that I want you to be informed, not misinformed. All right, how's everybody over here in the chat room? Thanks for lighting it up, man, with your locations and the likes. Way to go. Don't forget to like the video. And again, I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I'm just trying to get the video pushed out there because half the people that I know don't even get notified. You know, it's kind of like you subscribing to a newspaper, okay? And you'd like to get the newspaper every day. That's your preference. You know, I'd like to get it every day. But you only get it a couple times a week. You're like, wait a minute, I want to read the paper every day. And it's like, nah, we're only going to give it to you a couple times a week. That's just kind of how it is, you know. I don't have any control over that. So I wish I did. If I had control over that, I would notify all of you guys all the time. Boy, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? So what's going on today, guys? Everybody good? All right, I hope everybody's doing good. I know things are kind of iffy right now. I get you. Penny Burns, no fear. Nah, man, we're just having fun over here, man. We're living in history right now, Penny. We're witnessing a historic event unfold before our very eyes. You have an interstellar traveler in your solar system. from another star that's here under mysterious pretenses. This thing is traveling almost on a course that couldn't have been designed better by a pilot. And it just happened to just go through the solar system with 0.05 degree chance of probability. And it did it. That's the mystery. Not the cylinder shape. What's up, Happy Dragon Reptiles? That'd be my friend Nelson from North Carolina. What's up, North Carolina in the house? Yes, sir. Teresa, it is exciting. It's very, very cool. You know, this is rare. This thing has a totally different atomic structure than anything we've ever seen. It's from another star. Come on. Seriously? That's wild, man. You know how long this thing's been traveling? I'm telling you, if I was in charge and I was in charge of the big boy toys, we'd done been up there and we'd have been greeting this thing the minute it hit the orbit of Jupiter. And that would be my safety zone right there. You penetrate the orbit of Jupiter, we're going to greet you. That's just the way it is. Under friendly terms, of course, but I want to know who you are and what you're doing and where you came from and why you're here. Guaranteed fact. That's what I would do. And we'd have fun doing it. We'd be getting pictures and sharing the real pictures with the world, not cylinders. Come on, man. You guys can do better than that. Not you guys, but the people taking the pictures. They've got good pictures from Hubble and all that, the Webb. Trust me, James Webb Telescope. You betcha. I know, Donna, it's not from the neighborhood. It's from another neighborhood far, far, far away. Absolutely. But no, if I was in charge, we'd have done met this thing at the front door. Actually, out by the orbit of Jupiter. I guarantee it. All right, guys, listen, I just wanted to bring you up to date with what I know and what I've learned today in the last 24 hours. And again, I was talking to associates last night, and that was one of the things they kept bringing up was the very fact that, yes, this thing isn't shaped like a cylinder, but, you know, its origin, there's several things. Its origin is a mystery. The very fact that it doesn't have a tail is a mystery. It does have an unusual shape. It's a discombobulated spherical round. I don't know, but it's not a cylinder, guys. I promise you, it's not a cylinder. So yeah, it's very interesting and it's historic. This is a historic moment. So those are the things that we should be talking about, and those are the things that, you know, like this Harvard scientist, the man gets genuinely excited about these types of things because he can appreciate the rarity of this event. And it is a very rare event. I couldn't agree more. Zach Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Zach, you like over there, buddy. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, listen, I appreciate all the comments. How many likes did we end up with? Because that does push it out there. 832. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. That's not bad. We can kind of crank it out there a little harder next time. But listen, I'm going to hop off here for today. Again, I just wanted to inform you guys with what's really going on with these pictures. Again, I know, Graham, it contains H2O, so it won't have a tail. That's what they're saying. They're saying that the ratios are different, which they're just trying to explain why it doesn't have a tail. And I get that. There has to be some sort of an explanation. I get it. This one here, it's got a tail and a half. And this is in our eastern skies at sunrise, or pre-sunrise, to the right of the Big Dipper. So if you have a small telescope, I recommend using it. If you have a decent digital camera on a tripod that has a zoom, I recommend that. It's going to be very difficult to see this with the naked eye, even though it looks very dramatic in this photo. This man's using a 14-inch big telescope, okay? And he's got some of the finest equipment in the world. And trust you me, he knows how to use it. He's very, very good. But anyway, that's in the eastern sky, guys. So if you want to get up early and go check it out, I'm going to be up early. I'm going to go check it out. And I'm going to take some equipment out there and try to get a picture. I got to get a picture myself. These are historic times, and I'm not going to just let them pass on by without at least getting a picture or two of these things. I'd love to get a picture of Atlas, but I don't think that's going to be possible unless somebody here in the chat's got maybe a 40-inch telescope or something like that, which I know we'd have to go to Mauna Kea and get up there and use the big telescopes up there. Maybe they'd let us borrow Gemini for a night. Wouldn't that be cool? We could see some things if we could get access to Gemini. That would be fun. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to hop off here for today. As always, thanks for everything. Thanks for all the likes and comments. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by and spending part of your Monday with me. Check it out. Friday will be here before you know it. Just remember, we're talking Monday at 4:17 Arizona time. Before you know it, it's going to be Friday. Friday again. Watch. Mark my words. Watch how fast Friday gets here. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.